日本語を学んでいますか?一緒に学びましょう. Japanese has landed in the cracking language fundamentals learning arena. Now, a lot of you might know me from my Thai content, my content on tonal languages, Indic scripts, but I haven't really put that much out there about Japanese. I have a series out there on kana, which are the alternate kana forms that may have been candidates for modern hiragana but didn't cut it. But they're still a form of hiragana that used to be used to write Japanese. So there's a series out on that, but I don't really have a whole set of tools or lessons for Japanese. And I would never claim that I'm a fluent Japanese speaker yet. Let's see what happens in the future. But I'm happy to announce, because of this foundation that I've put down on my platform, now I'm in a position to really put some very rich Japanese language learning tools out there. And I've been building them out. I've been using some of the best tech and the best libraries that are out there for Japanese language, combining with the stuff that I have already in the areas where I think that I'm strong. From characters and different things about pitch and articulation. And I've put them together in a set of tools and a set of functions within the site that I think are going to be super powerful and can really help you with your Japanese. And actually, I'm keen to jump back into my Japanese now that I have these as well. So I want to share them with you. First of all, if you come to crackinglanguage.com. Now, one thing I will mention up here, I'll blur this out, but you'll see once you log in with a Google enabled account, you will see your email up here with a Google enabled account. It will probably just be black with a yellow outline. It won't be green with a blue outline like this. The reason why it's green is because it's AI enabled. The reason why it's glowing blue is because it's voice enabled. Now, I've been able to make this entire site up, saving a lot of money for both the learners and for myself, because I've built it on a bring your own keys model. I'll just show you quickly here. So if you go to user profile and you click on API keys, in order to get full access to all of the stuff that I'm going to show you today, all you have to do is go to OpenAI, go into Google and type in OpenAI API keys. And you log in, get yourself an API key, put $6 on, I think is the minimum, and that will last you out. You'll probably only use not even $1 for this per month. Add API key. And so once you add an API key for AI, you just select AI, open AI, give it a label, paste your key in there, bang, and this will turn green. Now, if you want voice functions, and you can use some of the premium Google voices that are out there, these chirp voices, you get your Google key and put some clips out showing you how to do this. So go back and have a look at some of my other clips over the past couple of weeks. You go to Cloud Voice and you put your provider as Google. Later, I'll be adding AWS in, but just put Google, again, label it, save key, and bang, you will see this start glowing blue. So blue is voice, green is AI, and you're ready to go. Another thing while you're there, if you go to the dashboard here, you will see that you're going to get an overall profile and you can put the languages that you speak here. Now, this actually has use. It's because I use AI to understand what you already know and what you need to know. So if you already speak, say, Chinese and you're learning Thai, well, I know you have a grounding in certain things about tones and tonal languages, phonology that I can leverage. And so you won't have to go through a whole lot of other stuff that maybe people who don't come from a tonal language would need to, or with Japanese and pitch accent, similar stuff. So you can put your languages in here, just click edit, and you can add in whatever languages you've got there. So add a language, you choose the language, choose what level you're at. Just starting basic words. Now, I know these are very general classifications of the ABC levels of language, but I think it's enough to give AI an idea of where you're at, and that's really going to help your learning. But let's get back to Japanese. Now, to see some of these Japanese tools that I have here, there's a couple that you can find in the sidebar. So let's have a look at this Japanese pitch accent analyzer. And this, I think those who follow Dogen or Matt versus Japan, you'll know all about your pitch accent. Now, what I've done here is because I'm using between a whole bunch of technologies, I'm able to leverage some of the best Japanese language libraries out there in order to get rich Japanese data. And so I've loaded up a lot of these Japanese resources that I can query. I've built a whole lot of stuff myself. And what that's enabled me to do is build all of these really rich Japanese tools like these pitch accent boxes and different things that can really slice and dice your Japanese language so you can get what you want out of it. Let me give you an example. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste this quick Japanese dialogue in here. And watch this. Now, what it does instantly is you see the kana up here. Now, you can increase the font up here. And look, within seconds, it's gotten a translation. Now, what's happened is I've built out Japanese agents. I have literally thousands of lines of code that get the queries and the prompts and anything going in there. So it's not just like a normal ChatGPT prompt. And so what that's done is it's gone out and with a mixture of AI, with a mixture of querying libraries, with a mixture of functions that I've built out, it's put all of this data together. And so first of all, here you have, so the kana, you have the original, the English. Now, supposing you don't want your kana up here, you can click it over to Romaji. And you'll see it there. So, sumimasen, it's all up here. There are a couple of things. I've actually made my own parser from kana to Romaji. I'm working on it to tweak it, but it's pretty good. Or you can have none if you don't want any guides there. So let's just put the kana there for the moment. But the really cool thing is down here. So have a look at this. What it does is break it down into pitch accent for you. So if you haven't taken Dogen's class on pitch accent, or I think Matt versus Japan has his as well, Dogen's stuff is very thorough. You'll learn all about these classes. So you have the atamadaka, nakadaka, odaka, and heiban there. And so this will give you all of the classes, and from the same libraries that generate all of the official Japanese dictionaries, this is the data that's pulled in here over the lexicon. And so you'll see it here, and it actually puts in the pitch accent. Now I've built out my own pitch accent engine in order to pass that and show them up here beautifully so I can do some really cool stuff. If you see any errors in there, let me know. I'm tweaking some things in there, but it's pretty good. And you can listen to the voice.
すみません。日本語を勉強しているんですが。
Okay, and you can go through those one by one. Right now, I've got it defaulted to female. In the coming days, you'll see I will enable you to choose whatever voice it is that you want. You can choose female, male, but there are some really good chirp voices there for Japanese and all languages. So I'll enable those in these tools, and this will build it out for you, and it happens instantly. So for example, you just want this line of text. I'll just cut that out. I'll cut everything out. Watch how fast it loads it up. 1, 2, 3, bang, it's there. So this is super fast. It works, and it's a great tool to use, but it's only a tool. It gets better. Now for Japanese, you can also use the handwriting practice that I have here. So if you go to handwriting grid practice, you can open up what is very similar to what you have in a kid's exercise book. Now, if I type in this, I've got Nihongo, or in Chinese, 日本语, and it's there. Now you can scale these up to size. I'll bump them across a little. But the cool thing here is that you actually get handwriting versions of it. But once you're in there, you can actually practice. And this works really well on a mobile as well. So you've got this handwriting practice, but I also have this tool here, which is pretty cool. So you can come to crackinglanguage.com/hanzi, which is kanji. And if you put your kanji in there, it's got, I think, up to 10,000 characters that you will get these animated sketches. And again, you can practice writing over there and get your stroke order right. So you have these as tools as well. But again, these are only tools. It gets much, much better. And I'll show you how this actually incorporates in your learning then, because tools are only tools, but how do you actually learn? Welcome to the learning arena. And so as long as you are enabled here with green and then blue if you want your voices. You can actually come to the arena even without having those enabled, and some things will work. But things that need AI or things that need voices, you will need to have your API keys in there. So I have my keys in. You say start new session. And so I've started a session, and you can choose which key you want it to use for these AI sessions. And so I'm using my OpenAI key. My base model is 3.5 turbo. I don't have 5 in there because I noticed that 5 wasn't great for these kinds of things and it was overpriced. Now, there are some things there where 3.5 won't cut it, and so I may have a couple of overrides on the back end, but in general, whatever model you choose, it will use that. I find 3.5 is good enough as a baseline for many things. So you can just set it at that to start with. So as you're learning, you have 2 modes of learning. We have what's called slash commands. So if I hit the slash in here, if you come from the IRC days, you will remember these slash commands. There were forward slashes, but you can see these slash commands down here. I think Discord uses slash commands as well. And these are specific functions that you can trigger, and they have deep programming, triggering agents, and all of these things to give you back rich lessons or different things. So we'll get into those in a moment. But if you just put a normal prompt in, how do I start learning to write Japanese, Chinese, kanji? And I hit submit. So what that's going to do, it's going to go through everything I've ever written, all the videos I've ever done, if I have any lessons there, and in my voice, it puts agents together and it will suggest some of the best articles, videos, lessons out there. And so I have stuff there. I have stuff on kanji you can watch. So if you want to just watch those clips, that's great. And you can learn until your heart's content from that content. But that's not where the really powerful bit is. The really powerful bit is in these slash commands. So let me just I'll delete this session and start another one. And you'll notice the toolbox here will reset in a moment as it opens up. And what I'm going to do is do a lesson from content. So watch this. Now, I have all these different languages here and dialects. Japanese, I actually have Osaka Ben in here as well, but we'll use standard Japanese. And I want to say, write me a dialogue of a 20-something-year-old guy in Fukuoka looking for the best ramen shop. Okay? Now, you can put anything in there. If you put something in quotes, it will give you that thing back in quotes and then a dialogue on that. Otherwise, you can just give it a normal prompt. It should be smart enough to put it together and figure out what you're wanting. And what it's doing is putting all of that together, putting all my agents' resources together, going through everything that I have for Japanese, for language learning in general, for principles, and crafting a lesson for you. Bang, and there you go. I'm going to collapse this down here. Look at that. This is pretty cool. Actually, I'll hide these so we get some more screen real estate. And so the first thing that you'll get is the dialogue, and it's done it there. Now we have the romaji here. Now, if you want to put that as kana up top, you can change this to kana. Bang. You can even change it to IPA. Okay, and it's actually pretty accurate IPA. Let's put it back to the transliteration in romaji. So look at this. And so you can play all of them. You can change the speed of how fast it speaks. And you can also change the voice, female, male, neutral.
男一、お疲れ。最近、福岡で最高のラーメン屋探してるんだけど、どこがいいと思う?
Pretty cool, hey? And so it takes you through that. You can go through the dialogue, listen to it all. It gives you those. It then gives you key vocabulary out of there, and you'll get your pitch accents with it. And so it goes through each one of them. You'll get your pitch graphs with it based on these same resources that the Japanese dictionaries use when they're crafting their dictionaries. And so this is that very data being pulled in here. phrases and structures, that will be building out more. And so I'll be making these lessons much more rich on particles, structures, phrases, just as you would expect, based on some really cool resources that I have. And then speech levels. And then down here, this is what's really powerful about the learning arena. Once you've learned, you can actually use that to leverage the next thing. And so you remember that pitch accent analyzer that we saw? Well, this is going to pipe that whole thing into that. And so bang, look at this. We have that whole dialogue now in this pitch accent analyzer. And so again, it's going to go through, it's going to do its stuff. In a moment, you'll probably see the English populate into it. There you go. Now, one thing I didn't mention here, have a look at this. Supposing I'm not an English speaker, supposing I'm a Spanish speaker and I want to get this translated into Spanish, not English, all I have to change is that. And what it's going to do is use the same crafting of data that I set up in the back end in the agents. And in a moment, you should see that injected back in, not in English, but in Spanish. And so look at that. We have Spanish in there now, translated absolutely no English. And you can get the Romaji up just like we had in the other one. You can change the font size. And so if you're a Spanish speaker, your English isn't great, you can still use this to learn Japanese. And it works with any language.
お疲れ、最近、福岡で最高のラーメン屋探してるんだけど、どこがいいと思う?
So that's pretty cool. So we have learning not only in English, but in any language. Here we're looking at Spanish. We have pitch accent, you have different ways of rendering it, even in IPA. But remember those follow-ups? I know that there are a lot of learners out there that use Anki decks. Now, I've built something that I believe are even more powerful than Anki decks. So I'm going to click here, drill flashcards. And what you'll see down the bottom here now, we have flashcards. Look at this. So what it's done is taken that whole dialogue, it's broken up the dialogue, the words, the vocabs, the phrases, and you can see here 24 different flashcards were rendered from that initial lesson dialogue. And it's got everything that you would want. So again, you can listen to the audio.
男にお疲れ、それなら一覧言ってみた? 有名だけど、やっぱり美味しいよ.
You can show there's the Japanese, front, back. You have full control on what you show on each side of the card. So I've clicked there, and so you can choose what you want on the front and the back. Now, I've generated these cards from that dialogue. Again, I have agents that have gone in, extracted all of this stuff out, and built them into these really rich cards. However, you can build whatever cards you want. Another thing that you can do, well, you can bulk import. So if you have spreadsheet and you want your own cards or your own data, say from Anki decks, you can import them in as well. Now, another thing that you can do is you can merge decks or save them to your own flashcard. So even when you're out of the arena, I'm going to be implementing this week. I've already written it. I just have to flick it on the FSRS algorithm. So you're going to have full spaced repetition, just like you have in Anki with your decks. So I'm going to merge into an existing deck, Japanese, and confirm. And so what this is doing is taking those cards. It's getting my other deck that I have. And look, it's upserted 24 cards into the deck. And so now I'm opening up crackinglanguage.com/flashcards. Look at this. This is my Japanese deck. And now I have 61 cards in that deck. It's just added those ones to it. So I'm going to open them up here. And those cards have been inserted in there. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Now, these cards are fully editable, customizable. Any tool that you see in the site, you can add to your cards. So supposing I want to have a kanji practice for one of these cards, I can actually do that. Have a look at this. I'm going to edit this card. And supposing I want one of these kanji squares, I'll put it down the bottom. So what I do is add tool. I want to add a Hanzi cell sketch. And so I just click OK. I'm going to put the word here. Where is that? There it is. I'm going to put, let's put Hanzi, so kanji. I want this box size, I'll make it 100. I'll make it a little smaller. You should see, so it's saving up top. When that saves, you'll see now, sketchable. I can close this now, and bang, I have my practice kanji writing within the flashcard. Now I can make that occur on top, on the bottom. I can add images. So supposing I have an image of they're asking, can I help you? So say a service counter image, it's saving that there as the image, and bang. So now I have full visual, rich, multimodal flashcards that will work with spaced repetition. Right now you can just sort of shuffle and go through them all like this, or you can go through linearly in order, but it's super powerful, and these Japanese tools are only going to get better. Now, one last thing I'll mention, as you're learning from your learning area here, over on the right is your toolbox. And so supposing you wanted one of these practice writing charts, you can actually pull it up here in the toolbox, and I'll just hide it down here. So you can actually practice writing here in your toolbox any of the characters that you see there. If you don't want anything in there, that's there. Or you can bring that pitch accent tool up there if you want to use on the side as you're learning. Basically anything that we had there. So you can click on here and edit it. So I'll say 日本语日本語. Close that up. And look at that. So you can even practice writing right here in your toolbox as you're learning. As you're learning, you will see that this flashes over from time to time, saving progress, or you can manually save it. What that does is the state that your learning session is in. So all of the information that you're learning, your tools, everything that's in there is being saved and keeping a snapshot, as well as where you're up to with your learning. So you can always come back to it. You can learn from it. And more importantly, this system is learning what you've learned, what you might want to learn. So when you come back, you can keep learning from where you left off, and it will take you to wherever you want to learn. This has been a whistle-stop tour of my Japanese tools. There's just so much in there. I've covered a fair bit. There's actually a lot more that will be useful for Japanese speakers. I have Chinese dialects, I have Vietnamese, I have Thai, Indonesian, Malay. I'll be going through each one, but really start to come in. This isn't officially launched yet. I'll be officially launching it late October, November when I go to Taiwan for the Polyglot Conference. But you're all welcome to come in, add your keys if you want to get the most out of it, but you can still use many of these tools without API keys. Just have a look at these tools down the side here. Click through, have a play. If there's anything missing here that you would like, let me know and I'll build it if I think that other people are going to benefit from it too. Come into the Discord server. You've got the link in the description below. If you want to support what I've done right now, none of this is monetized. It's all free. You can use it free. The only way I monetize this is through jacademy.com, through my subscription bundles, either through the unlimited Thai resources or my Minecraft program. So if you do want to support me, you can come in there. But otherwise, this is all totally free right now. In the future, it'll probably be about $10 a month for every single language for all the tools, but we haven't come to that point yet. So jump in, use these, learn, let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you like to see added. And if I can do it, I'll do it. Thank you for your support. Click like, subscribe. I'm Stuart J. Raj. I'll see you on the other side.